Hey, this is Michael Wittig, ISSA personal trainer, Kaged muscle athlete, and rider wear athlete. I'm doing my first Q&A. I did a post yesterday asking for questions, and I got a bunch of them. They're here on my desktop. I apologize ahead of time because I'm going to pronounce many of your names wrong. I'm sorry, but I'll do my best. So let's just get to it. First question is from Darren Wynn. He asks, for people that have young active kids and simply don't have a lot of time or money to spend at the gym and all the different supplements, what do you recommend is a good place to start for home workouts? Well, Darren, I would suggest get a set of nice resistance bands. The ones I have are called Rip Cords. They're great. I recently posted a full article on resistance band training because you can do it at home. You don't need a lot of equipment. You can get a great workout. Of course, there's a bunch of body weight exercises you can do. You can do squats and lunges and push-ups and crunches and all that good stuff. But sometimes those aren't enough for certain individuals. There are ways to make those basic bodyweight moves a little more demanding. Instead of just regular bodyweight squats, do jump squats, do pistol squats. Instead of regular lunges, do switch lunges. Instead of regular push-ups, do clapping push-ups, do them on a decline. There's bodyweight back exercises. I've recently been posting a lot of little clips of bodyweight exercises you can do on my Instagram, Wittig Works. So check that out. Look up my blog on wittigworks.com about resistance training, or message me and I'll send you the link. Okay, question number 2 is from Christian Rokon. I know I pronounced that wrong. How do you make family, 3 kids here, training, and 40 hours of work go with your training? Sounds like you're busy, man. I understand. I have 4 kids. I work here at the gym. We're actually at elite training right now where I train my personal clients. I'm not the owner. I'm the manager here and one of the trainers. And we just got a crazy schedule. My kids start basketball tonight. They got Cub Scouts. We're just doing stuff all the time. So I just prioritize and I plan. Okay, so being a trainer, I do kind of set my own schedule, so I have time during the day to make sure I get my workout in. If I wasn't a trainer, it would be harder. I feel for some of you guys that work full-time and have a family to fit in that workout time. What you have to do is set up a schedule for your day. You know when you go to work, you know when you get home, you know when your children have activities, and figure out how much time you can allot to working out. If it's 30 minutes or an hour, something's always better than nothing. Do what you can do that doesn't take away too much family time, and then in that allotted time, do the best, absolute, and most intense workout you can do. That's my only advice. You got to plan ahead. Question number 3, or the next question, oh, and this one's hard to pronounce. Aftab Ali Fasahaf. I apologize, man. I know I messed that up. Hey, Michael. Great to be a part of Team Kaged Muscle. I'm a part of Team Kaged Muscle. I'm a Kaged Muscle athlete. The best, natural, cleanest, effective supplements out there. Check them out. Great to be a part of Team Kaged Muscle. What are the myths about training back which keeps us from achieving that back wing look? Man, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. I haven't heard too many myths when it comes to training back. My advice, if the back is a weak point, which it kind of is for me, it's an area of my body I'm really working hard on to develop, that lat width, you got to prioritize it. I'm going to start training it 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I'm starting the week off with it when I'm fresh. Instead of doing chest like most people, I'm hitting back. I'm going to hit it 3 times a week. I'm going to hit lots of angles, a lot of wide grip pull-ups, a lot of wide grip pull-downs. I'm going to do all different exercises. I'm going to periodize my rep schemes where I go heavy one week, moderate one week, maybe higher reps, and I'm going to rotate them around. I'm just going to do everything I can, and I'm going to do it often. That's my best advice there. John Lasota asks, what factors do you consider when designing a workout for when you plateau? Plateauing, that happens to everybody. The first thing I do is examine my nutrition. If I'm trying to gain muscle or gain strength or both, first you want to look at your nutrition. Are you eating enough? Are you getting enough calories in, enough protein, enough carbohydrates? Look at that first. The second thing when designing the program is changing the program up. Don't always do the same thing. People always get stuck in doing the same routines over and over again, and they wonder why they don't get results. Change it up often. Change up your exercises, change up your rep schemes. Heck, there's nothing wrong with doing a set of 50 reps every now and then. There's one time I was doing sets of 100 reps just to do something different. Sometimes I'll do 5x5s, so 5 sets of 5 heavy reps. Throw in advanced techniques. Just change it up. And if you're not good at designing programs, look up some great programs done by designers, trainers like Chris Gethin with Kaged Muscle. He has a lot of free trainers out there. I post up free workouts every day, almost every day on my Facebook. I have ebook programs on my wittigworks.com, or look in bodybuilding.com. They got a lot of free programs there. So either constantly change it up. Make sure you're writing stuff down in a journal too. If you're just trying to remember what you did last week, you're not going to remember. You want to progress. You want to constantly do more reps or more weight. So keep a workout journal, but follow a program that's designed for your goals, or make sure you're changing stuff up often. Next question by Jer Tidewell. Lost 80 pounds and down to 10% body fat. Dang, that's awesome. Good work, man. Trying to add size now. What is diet like, and how much cardio do you do compared to lifting? Well, interesting. When it comes to diets for an individual, there's a lot of factors you got to take in consideration. There's the what you eat, there's the how much, and the when. All three of those are really important. To add size, from cutting, you're going to want to up your calories, but you're going to want to do it slowly. You don't want to just go from cutting calories, which are in a calorie deficit, and just increase them to a surplus overnight. You want to slowly get it up there to a surplus. So you're upping the calories. So typically when I'm trying to build size, I will up my protein to a minimum of about 1.5 grams per pound of body weight, sometimes up to 2. That's a lot of protein, but that's what works for me. I keep my fats really low, even when I'm gaining. Approximately 0.65 grams per pound of body weight. Again, that's for me. I pretty much eat low fat when I'm gaining or cutting. It's just, I like to eat low fat. It works good for me. Carbohydrates is the one macronutrient that changes. It depends on you and your body and how it responds to carbs. When I'm gaining, sometimes it'll be in that 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. I'll start there. If I'm not gaining enough, I might up it a little bit. If I notice I'm gaining a little too much fat, I'll lower it down. Now, cardio also, again, depends on the individual. I like to do cardio even when I'm gaining, at least minimum 3 or 4 times a week for about 20 minutes. Some people are like, oh, if I do too much cardio, it's going to work against my gains. Well, what's going to work against your gains is when you try to do a big leg day and you can't breathe anymore and you're having to stop because your cardiovascular system can't keep up. So no matter what, I always do a little bit of cardio to keep my cardiovascular system strong so I can crush those hard leg days, which are going to help your results more than anything. I also like to keep my fat levels under control when I'm gaining. So I'll at least go 3 to 4 times a week for about 20 minutes. So adjust it depending on how much fat you might be gaining or not. Okay. Next question is by Hansan Faruju. Man, I messed that up. I apologize. How can I prevent myself from constantly falling off the train? I have a plan and goals, but I have those days when I get off track. How can I become more consistent and achieve my goals faster? One of my main problems is junk food. Me too, everybody. We all like junk food. I want to completely get rid of it and train myself to dislike junk food. How can I go about this? Well, that's a common problem. Eating clean is difficult for most people, even for me at times. My best advice is to set up rules, set up a schedule. Okay, I pretty much eat around the same times every day. I eat relatively the same things. I do change up my proteins, I change up my carbs, but it follows a similar pattern. I also know how many cheat meals I'm going to have in a week. I give myself 2, unless it's like a week or 2 before a competition. But even when I'm cutting, up until this couple weeks before competition, I give myself at least 2 cheat meals a week. You know what? And I just eat clean outside of that. There's no breaking the rules. If you have gray areas, you're going to mess up. So have black and white. I'm going to cheat twice a week, 3 times a week, whatever it is. Set rules and only cheat at those times. As far as just staying on the train, man, a lot of it's up here. You know, Don't try to be perfect. Try your best, but realize no one's going to be perfect. You're going to mess up every now and then. What's most important is that you're consistent. So if you do mess up, don't get depressed and just start eating whatever. Get right back on track. Get going again. If you do have a bad day or a bad meal and eat more than you had planned or something wrong, compensate a little bit on that next healthy meal. Maybe lower your carbs a little bit. Maybe do extra cardio that day. But try to write out a plan and stick to it. Black and white. Okay, next question is by Karina McCullough Espinoza. 40 is awesome. I'm in better shape in my 40s than I ever was in my 20s and improving every day. You make 40 look good. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Devendra Yadav. HIIT, they're talking about high intensity interval training cardio, is good during bulking phase or cutting phase, and how long should we do it? That's a good question. HIIT training, HIIT cardio is good at any time. As far as the length, it just depends on how you're eating and your body type. Of course, when you're trying to gain, I wouldn't recommend doing it for a really long time. Maybe no more than 3 or 4 times a week for about 15 minutes, maybe 20. I wouldn't do 30, 40 hour-long sessions of HIIT when you're trying to gain. When you're trying to cut, heck, do it every day. When I'm cutting and I'm really working hard, I will do HIIT and intervals, regular intervals, or steady state every single day. I keep my HIIT sessions, I normally do them after weightlifting, and I'll normally do them before steady state, but I normally keep those sessions 15 to 20 minutes. That's what I do. Give it a try. Eric Roeder asks, what does good cutting macro look like? Well, that depends on the individual. It depends on many factors, but here's what I do. When I'm cutting, I keep my protein high, about 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. Very similar to when I'm gaining, but when I'm gaining, I might up that to 2 grams per pound of body weight. But cutting 1.5, it always stays the same, and I adjust it as I will gain or lose weight. Fat, I keep really low, about 0.5 grams per pound of body weight. Carbs is the one, like I said earlier, is the one macronutrient that fluctuates depending on the individual. So I'll start with a moderate carbohydrate, about 1 gram per pound of body weight, and then adjust it depending on how fast or how slow I'm cutting. If I'm not cutting fast enough, or if I stall, I'll lower that a little bit to about 0.5 grams per pound of body weight, which is really low. And when you're eating that low of carbs, you need to make sure to have one really high carb day a week, the same day every week, to kind of spike the carbs to reset your metabolism. But I would start at about 1 gram per pound of body weight and see how it goes. If you start losing weight, keep it there until you stall, and then maybe consider lowering it or upping your cardio a little bit. Next question by Nathan Adrian Gabbard. What advice to have for a bass player? How do you get the fundamentals down? Well, this is a music question. I played music before fitness. I still play music. I supported my family for most of my adult life playing bass in the Christian rock band Pillar. Man, Nathan, I wasn't that good. I was okay. I just made people think I was good with my stage presence. My advice is just to learn the scales, practice your finger strength, going through those scales, practice learning other songs. It really just comes down to practice and repetition. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. Next question is by Scotty Styles. When can we get a Pillar reunion tour? Dang, I don't know if that will happen. I think we'd love to do it. We're all just so busy. We have so many kids. Rob's about to have his 6th kid. I have 4. Lester has a bunch. Noah has a bunch. And we're all just so busy with our own projects. I'm not sure if that will happen, but you never know. We'll see what happens. Okay, next question is by my friend Adam Pepe. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that, Adam, but I'm going to say Pepe, like Pepe Le Pew. Not saying that you're a skunk or anything, but... Okay, question. What are some good home exercises to do without equipment? I work from 4:30 a.m. to 2 p.m., and then I'm home alone with my 7-month-old daughter until my wife gets home after 5. That doesn't give me much time to go to the gym, and I spend enough quality family time. Well, I'm going to refer back to the first question by Darren. Get some resistance bands. You can do everything you can do at a gym with them. Of course, you can't go as heavy, but if you're creative and have a door attachment, you can do every exercise with the resistance bands. And check out my article, my blog about resistance bands training that I posted a few weeks back. If you can't find it, just message me on Facebook or whatever, and I will send it to you. Get resistance bands. Karen Winchester asks, what would be the best supplement for someone who wants to lose a lot of grease, I'm guessing she means fat, and don't have a lot of time for working out? Well, Karen, it don't work that way. You got to eat clean, you got to eat right, and you need to work out. There's no magic supplement that's going to just make you lose weight. If there was, everyone would take it. There's a lot of products out there, but that's just not how they work. You got to eat right, you got to work out, then supplements can help you a little bit. But if you're not doing the first two, they're a waste of money. When I'm cutting, I take Kaged Muscle Clean Burn. It helps my body burn fat from multiple angles. Stuff works great. Check it out at kagedmuscle.com. Use my code Wittig15 to save 15%. Give that a try, but get your eating right and work out. Howie Roser asks, is it necessary to eat or drink anything for early morning workouts? Somewhere I heard that you burn more stored fat working out first thing in the morning versus later after a meal because your body will burn mostly what you just ate. Can you elaborate on this, please, and tell us the optimal times of day to work out? Well, there's no optimal time to really work out. That changes from individual to individual. I would say the best time is whenever you can do it. And just try to be consistent. It does. If you could do it about the same time every day, that's better than changing it up every day and doing it at a different time. Now, what you're talking about is fasted workouts or fasted cardio. That is a very popular way to burn fat. I just recently wrote an article about that hasn't been released yet about fasted cardio. I personally don't do it. And the reason is because I'm naturally an ectomorph. I'm naturally very thin. And for my long-term goals is to build muscle. When I personally do fasted cardio, I just lose weight too fast and I lose muscle that I don't want to lose. I think that fasted cardio is ideal, though, for people who just want to lose a lot of weight and they're not looking to build long-term muscle. Or if you want to just lose as much weight as possible, I think fasted cardio is great. So that's waking up, maybe just drinking some water and getting on the treadmill, going for a jog, getting on that stationary bike. If you're going to go lift weights, I just don't recommend lifting weights without having any food in you. I would at least have a whey protein shake, some Kaged Muscle Recaged to get that protein in your body as quick as possible, and maybe a banana for a little bit of carbs. You want to keep it light, but fasted cardio is great. Okay, Jeffrey Hamilton asked if you need a cycle pre-Kaged. Now, pre-Kaged is a pre-workout made by Kaged Muscle Supplements. Very powerful, very effective, clean, third-party tested, nothing sketchy in it. All the ingredients are on the label clearly. There's no proprietary blends. You know what you're getting. It's very effective. It's what I use every day. I take one scoop 30 minutes before my workout. There is no need to cycle it, Jeffrey, because the ingredients are so clean and pure, specifically the caffeine. It's not typical junk caffeine that's in pops and in junk foods. It's pure calf, and you don't need to cycle it. You can have it every day. Okay, and again, you can get that on kagedmuscle.com. Use my code Wittig15. My code is Wittig15 to save 15% off every order. We got a handful of questions here. And Benjamin Kane asked, why constantly say that you're natural? Well, the reason, Benjamin, I'm sorry if that gets annoying. The reason I do it is because there's many athletes out there that are not natural. Now, that's their preference, but I've never taken steroids. I've never taken growth hormones or testosterone boosters or anything that I should not be taking. I eat clean and I take natural ingredients from Kaged Muscle Supplements. Nothing illegal about it. And the reason is I'm not bashing those that do, because I know a lot of competitors that do. I personally have a problem with it because I put my health before muscle. My kids look up to what I do. Thousands of people all over the world look up to what I do fitness-wise, and I want to lead a good example. Health first, then muscle. That's just the way I do it. I let people know that because a lot of them assume that I take steroids. Hey, I'm 40 years old. I got a little bit of muscle, and I've done it naturally and cleanly. And the reason I say that is because I want other individuals to know Not just us 40-year-olds and guys older or women, but I want everybody to know that, hey, you can look great, you can feel great, you can be in the best shape of your life naturally without the steroids. They're not needed, and you can do it. That's why, Benjamin. Okay, Roger Galliano asked, how to get so lean? I did the hardcore trainer from Chris Gethin and the 4 weeks to shred, but I can't get rid of my love handles. Also, I like to get a bigger chest. What do you recommend to bring up a weak chest? Well, to bring up the weak chest, you want to prioritize it like I'm prioritizing my back. Hit it first, hit it hard, vary it up, and make sure you're keeping a journal. Make sure you're progressing and doing more weight or more reps every week. Now to get lean, that boils down to diet. Most people, aren't eating right. You got to eat clean. You got to eat in a calorie deficit. Make sure you're getting enough protein. Don't just starve yourself. The goal is to eat as much as you can while losing weight. I mentioned cutting macros, what I use earlier on the video. Start there and see what happens. Maybe you have to up your cardio. Maybe you have to do some HIIT cardio. Try doing something different than you're currently doing. Change it up and see what happens. If you have big problems, send me an email. Maybe I can do a custom program for you. And I do that. I do custom programs and nutrition plans for people all over the world. Check out my wittigworks.com. 3 more questions left. Danish Gandhi asks, is it possible to lose fat and simultaneously gain some muscle naturally? For this, what should be the correct macro ratio and how much cardio must be done? Well, it can be done. Many people will say it can't, but I've done it. Chris Gethin's done it, but it is very difficult. It's not easy. I feel like that you really have to understand your body and know your body and have a lot of experience to be able to pull that off. If you haven't ever worked out before and have a bunch of weight to lose, it's more probable. If you haven't built muscle before, you start exercising and eating right, you're going to lose weight and you're going to build muscle. If you're pretty experienced, have been lifting a long time, and you feel like you still don't understand your body, it's going to be difficult. I mentioned cutting and gaining macros earlier on in the video. Start with those cutting macros and see what happens. Work out very hard. Work out heavy. Don't go all high reps just because you're cutting. I lift super heavy still when I'm cutting. It helped me keep muscle and sometimes build muscle. I've done it. It can be done. Supplements help. If you're eating right and you're working out hard, you're doing extraordinary work. You're not doing what the typical person does, so you need extraordinary nutrition. Eat right, work out hard, supplement to help support that fat loss and that muscle gain. Oh, I can't pronounce this at all. Adhirja Dev Dogra. How to beat small calves. Man, well, I feel you. That's one of my weak points as well, but I've had some great results over the last few years. You got to hit them often, at least 3 times a week. You got to hit them hard, and you got to do advanced techniques. Lift them heavy, go high reps, 50 reps, do drop sets, do supersets, do everything you can. I actually posted an article. It's one of the first blogs I wrote was about calf development. Check it out on wittigworks.com or send me an email and I'll send you the link. Okay, Dan Plews asked, best training for six-pack and exercises for veins to show. Well, vascularity sometimes is hereditary or genetic. They either show naturally or they don't. But as you lower your body fat, they will show more so. So the six-pack and the vascularity come hand in hand. You just need to reduce your level of body fat. You need to eat right, in a calorie deficit, keeping your protein high to keep muscle. You need to lift weights, work out hard. You need to do some HIIT cardio. You got to lower that body fat. Last question by Krupekar Margam. I'm sorry, man, I messed that up. I'm a 55-year-old doing workouts at gym, not a beginner. Is it okay for me to take supplements like whey protein and creatine? Please advise. Yes, you can. They'd be great for you. Whey protein for recovery immediately after you work out would be awesome. Kaged Muscle has the creatine HCl, which is great. I added in my pre-workout and my post-workout. They'll help you recover faster. They'll help you have a little more energy. Check them out on kagedmuscle.com. Use my code Wittig15 to save 15%. If you have any questions, you can email me and I can give you some advice. But all their supplements are natural. They're clean. They're not going to hurt you in any way. Check them out. That's all the questions. I hope I answered some of your guys' questions. I helped you out a little bit. I don't know everything. I know some things, and I'm here to help. If you guys want me to do this again, let me know. This was kind of fun, and I hope to do it again. Work hard, eat right, build some muscle. Come on!